Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about just deciding. So, this sounds crazy, right? Just deciding that I'm healed, just deciding that I'm not a sick person anymore. Okay, so let me just tell you, there is such power in thought and making a decision. So I'm sure you can go back and look at any point in your life when you've just decided something, right? And you've changed your life because of it. Right? Like, I'm not a smoker anymore. And then you just quit. Or I'm not a fat person anymore. And you literally start to make the changes and you become fit, right? Or you go from not being a runner to being a runner. Like, I'm a runner. I am a runner now. Right? And sometimes it's saying something that isn't even true. But telling yourself, this is it. All my eggs are in this basket and I'm going to believe it and I'm going to make it happen. So if you've ever done anything like that, anything, right? Like going from any belief that you had, like, I'm not really good at math, to, hey, I'm great at math, and like sitting down and doing great on that test. Or, I don't know, I'm not really great at dancing, to like, hey, I'm good at dancing, or whatever it is. Or I don't know how to cook, to I'm an amazing chef. Okay, so these aren't just replacements. Like, you're just not, and this isn't wishful thinking either. Oh, it's really windy. The audio is going to come through on this. Anyways, so this isn't wishful thinking. This isn't like replacing a negative with a positive. This is like something that you want to change and you're ready to change. So when you're ready, and I think it only happens when you're ready. When you're emotionally ready and you say, that's it. I'm not going to live this lie anymore. I'm not going to live this life anymore. This is the new me. This is it. You can just change things about yourself. Have you ever noticed that? You can go from somebody who's shy to somebody who's outgoing. Or you can go from somebody who's an introvert to somebody who's an extrovert. Or somebody who's afraid of public speaking to somebody who just steps into being amazing at giving public speeches. But it's a belief in yourself. And it's just like, almost like you're drawing a line and saying, no more. From this point forward, I choose to change. I choose to be a different person. This is important to me, and I see the BS that all those other lies told me, and I can just decide to be something or someone else. And that decision is like so powerful. It is probably the number one thing that you can do. It's just this decision, okay? Like, I'm going to be healed. I am healed. Like, I am not a sick person anymore, right? So I know you're saying, okay, yeah, that's fine. I want to be healed too. So I'm going to say, I'm not sick anymore. I'm not in pain anymore. I'm not a sick person anymore. I am a healed person. But if I still have all the symptoms and if I'm still suffering from them, then how can that be true? But I mean to go a step further when you decide that. I mean, you're saying, like, I am not a sick person anymore. And you fully, truly have drawn this line. It's a literal line in the sand. Like, that's it. I am just not a sick person anymore. So in spite of all the symptoms that try to come and pull me down, in spite of all the pain, in spite of all the suffering, in spite of everything physical I have going on, I'm not a sick person. So I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to let it pull me down to its level. I'm not going to sit in the sick person persona anymore. I'm just not. I'm done with that. I am a healed person. I am no longer a sick person. So do you see the subtlety here? It's a very definite line that you've drawn, right? Almost like somebody who goes, you know, maybe you've avoided apples your whole life because you're afraid of the sugar spike, or you're afraid of whatever. And one day you look at this apple and you're going like, this is ridiculous. Of course I can eat this apple. You're like, you know what? I'm a person who eats apples and it's fine. And nothing happens to me when I eat apples. And you just eat an apple, and even if you get the symptoms or even if you get the worry or whatever, you just literally say no. I'm now a person who eats apples, and whatever you do to me, I'm not going to stop because I'm going to eat apples for the rest of my life now. This is it. I am a person who eats apples. Now, this is a ridiculous example. However, when you decide, the decision is powerful. And if you're fully behind your own decision, your body knows it. So like when you say, no, like I am eating apples, I'm a person who eats apples, and then you continue to eat them, and no matter what happens, and you continue to eat them, and you stay in the mentality like these can't hurt me and they won't hurt me, and I am just a person who eats apples, you're eventually going to be a person who eats apples with no problems at all, because you decided this is the way it's going to be, right? Have you ever made a decision, this is the way it's going to be, and nothing can change it? Like there's no changing. I'm fully invested in this. I fully believe, and this is just the way it's going to be, right? From now on. So you can do that same thing with your illness. And I know you've tried, because I've tried too, but if you don't have the power behind your decision, that force, that momentum, that like true belief in yourself, like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't care what's going to happen. I don't know if I can, like, I don't know about these symptoms, but I'm not going to be a sick person anymore. I'm not. It's over. It's done. And then no matter what happens, all the sick symptoms come, all the things, you just don't go back there. Mentally, you don't go back there. There might be a lot of physical things going on, but mentally you've drawn this line and you're like, I'm not sick anymore. I'm not a sick person. And as soon as though you get this fear, and as soon as you get this kind of like worry, or like you let the victim mentality slip in, like why me, it's kind of over, right? Your mind knows it's over because you're looking back, you're wallowing in it, you're sitting with it, you're allowing it to affect your mental state. It's pulling you back, and it's like it's got you. It's pulling you back in, and it sucks hard because it wants you to be this kind of person. Like, you know, smokers who have smoked their whole life, and they wake up and they go, I'm done, I'm not a smoker anymore. And they never touch another one, right? That's it. It's because there was something in that decision that this is just not how they're going to be anymore. That's it. And they decide and they move forward, and they're never tempted again. They see people smoking, it never bothers them again. And then there's other people who make the decision and they're like 98% in. Do you know what I mean here? They're like, I'm quit. I'm not a smoker. There's this little voice in the back of your head saying, but when you see someone who's smoking, but maybe I could just have one, or, you know, and it draws you back in. It draws them back in. And again, the temptation over time becomes too weak because there's this, and then they start to smoke again because they weren't fully invested, right? They weren't 100%. So sometimes you just get to a point in a journey and you say, that is it. I am done. I'm not looking back, like, ever. Like, that's it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to be like wallowing in it. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm not going to like do all these things to coddle myself and like, I'm not sick anymore. I am going to be healthy. Whether you are or not, like, you don't have to say I am healed if you're not, but you can say I am going to be healed. I'm going to be fully healed. I am no longer sick. So it's less about saying I'm fully healed. A lot of people make the mistake there. They like do this manifestation work and they say I'm healed, I'm fully healed, but they don't believe it because they're not healed. But there's a difference. Like, saying I'm no longer sick, period, is different than saying I'm healed. Because I'm healed, you need like this proof to believe it, right? And if you still have symptoms, you're not going to believe it. So you can say, I want to be healed. I'm going to be healed. I'm on my way to being healed. Those are powerful statements. Those are quite powerful statements. But saying, I'm done, I'm no longer looking back, I am not a sick person anymore, is like even more powerful. So it's even more powerful than the opposite one. So it's like this mentality. And sometimes it's easy to do for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or a day. But something happens and fear takes over. Fear is such a subtle thing. It can come in, it can take over, or this like you're exhausted, you're tired, you feel sorry for yourself. It's not working, right? You let those voices into your mind and it pulls you. That is a sick mentality. So as soon as you let that into your mind, you're no longer healed, right? What you need to say is, I'm no longer sick, meaning I'm no longer going to have a sick mentality. That I'm not going to be that person anymore who is sick. And you can still have all the symptoms. You can still be as sick, but you're not sick anymore, right? You're not going there. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe the lies. You're not going to wallow in it. You're not going to let it affect your day to day. You're going to go forward basically living your life. So by saying I'm no longer sick means I can do everything I want. I can go back to work. I can get a job. I can build a house. I can socialize. I can go out. I can invite people over. I can, be intimate with my partner. I can run. I can exercise. I can eat, food, enjoy myself. I can do what I want to do without worrying that the boogeyman is going to jump out and get me. That's what a sick mentality does, right? You're always looking around. You're always waiting, basically, for it to come back, and you're under the power of your illness. So you're not healed. You haven't made that decision, that line in the sand. But when you say I'm no longer sick, even if you have symptoms, even if you're suffering, even if whatever, and you're like, no, I am done. This line is in the sand and I am not a sick person anymore. That's not who I choose to be. I choose to live my life fully and completely. And this is it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't care what's going to happen. But I'm going to go forward and I'm going to live my life like I'm fully healed. I'm going to live my life like I have the power to do anything I want. Like there is no sickness. And I'm not going to give into it anymore, right? I'm not going to buckle to it. I'm not going to close off my life to it anymore. Shut down my life. I'm not going to wait. We all like to wait in chronic illness until we feel better, until we're more capable, right? It's a coddling of yourself until you feel strong enough in order to go out and live your life. And that makes sense in chronic illness. You've been, shattered into a lot of million pieces. But sometimes just standing firm and saying, I'm done. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be fully healed, and I'm going to live my life as if I am fully healed. Until I am fully healed. Come hell or high water. This is it. There is no going back. I am no longer a sick person. I'm no longer sick. And so I have no limitations anymore. And then you have to push through all your fears, all your limitations. So if the thought comes into your head, I'm not ready to do that, or I'm not ready to, whatever it is, drive, or I'm not ready to go to the store, and I'm not ready to eat that, or I'm not ready to socialize, or I'm not ready to get a job, or I'm not ready to run or exercise, or whatever these little voices are telling you, then you must do them. It's like a personal challenge to yourself. Whatever those little voices tell you you can't, then you must. You must, because you must prove to yourself, I don't buckle to these limitations anymore, to these thoughts telling me I can't. So then you must get in your car and drive. You must eat the food. You must have the social event. You must go out and get the job, right? You must get up and start exercising. You must do the thing that you think you can't. And you must take it as a personal challenge anytime you hear those voices, right? And you must feel proud of it. And you don't have to fear it anymore. You just, whenever you get that voice of fear, then you must go towards the fear, move towards the fear, right? When you get those limiting beliefs in your head saying, I can't, I'm not ready, it's not possible, then you must go to them and you must prove it wrong. So you must undo everything, right? And that just comes from a decision. So today we're talking about just deciding, and it's a decision that there's a power, an unspoken power behind. It's almost like a vow to yourself, I am no longer sick. And this line means I can do anything that anyone else can do. And you forget about the symptoms, you forget about the pain, you forget about the suffering, because that physical stuff hasn't caught up to your mind yet. But you go on living your life and you never look back. You just say no. No, period. And then you move in the direction of the fear. You move in the direction of all those voices telling you you can't. And you prove them wrong. And you're like, I can. I am healthy. I am healed. I'm going to be healed. I'm on my way to being healed because, you know what? Because if I'm not sick, there's no other way for me to go. So I don't know if I'm truly going to be healed. You might be able to say in your mind, but you say, but I'm definitely not going to be sick. Meaning I'm not going to stuck here. I'm not going to live here and wait and wonder and put off anything anymore and buckle under all this fear and the limitations and the limiting beliefs, because I just choose something different. So sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is a choice. But don't let those voices coming up behind you, like if you're not 100%, just like that smoker, if you're only 95 when you make that, you'll get sucked back in. There has to be something that says, I've had enough and I'm done. And when you get there, then you just move forward, no matter what. Just like somebody who just looks in the mirror one day and they're very overweight and they're very obese and they go, you know what? I'm going to be thin. I am going to be thin because I am not fat anymore. And then they just do everything that they can to get there because they've made a declaration. They've said, I'm no longer fat. I'm no longer that person who's fat anymore and who eats, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, they don't even have a plan, but they made a powerful declaration to themselves and the universe, and like they feel it, right? They feel this decision. And sometimes that is more powerful than all the inner healing work that you can do, than all the inner child work, than all the protocols, than all the diets, than anything that you can do, than all the meditation, all the getting close to yourself. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is decide with 100% no nonsense power in your soul and mean it, and just feel like, I'm ready. I don't need this anymore in my life, and I'm not going to have it. So I hope that you get to the point, or that you just choose for this to be the point, for this to be the moment that you say, I'm healing because I am no longer a sick person. And I know that's going to put me in an uncomfortable spot because I'm going to have to do a lot of things that I've been avoiding and I don't want to do. But I'm going to do them because I'm not sick anymore. So I hope you choose today, right now. It's a moment and it's powerful, and you're going to have to do a lot of things you don't want to do, and you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone a lot more than you are right now, and it is going to suck. But if you choose it, there's no telling where your life will go. So choose it. Just choose it right now.